This is episode 51 on the Air Hug community. Hello and welcome. My name is Judy Arizosa and I am the host of the Air Hug Community Podcast. And if you're new here, let me just tell you what we're all about. We are a community that believes supporting each other can be wonderful and it helps improve the lives of others as well as our life. We believe in living well, and that includes physical fitness, eating well, but also mental fitness. We believe that movement should be fun and that eating to live better should also be fun and delicious. We have conversations and stories from guests and myself that are often inspired by the thousands of conversations I've had one-on-one with working with women over the last dozen years, but also with conversations with several of my besties with our one-on-one walks that we love to take together. So have a listen, and I'm really glad you're here. Thank you so much for joining in. It was a red maple leaf. A red maple leaf. Okay, let me give you the background story. Just a couple days ago, I had a golf date, and I almost didn't do it. I actually said to my husband the night before, I said, I've got so much to do, and I don't know if I should bother golfing because then, when am I going to get everything done? And he just said to me, he goes, what could you possibly have that is so important that you just can't take a few hours to go and enjoy yourself playing golf? And I thought, you know what? He's right. A few hours here or there really isn't going to make a difference. And so I went out and I played golf, and I was about halfway. It's interesting because half has a big theme in this podcast today. I was about halfway through my round of golf. In fact, exactly halfway through, because we got to the 10th hole. So we played 9 holes. And we're like, okay, we're going to regroup. Here we go. We're starting basically all over again. And I looked down at the tee and I saw a bright red maple leaf. Now, for reference, because this is just so you understand, this is July 30th in Western New York. I'm like, there should not be any red maple leaves yet falling from the sky or landing anywhere around. And so I thought, holy crap, summer's already more than halfway over and the leaves are already beginning to turn. Oh my gosh, what am I doing with my time? I almost wasted this day with just mundane chores. I could have wasted this beautiful day, and I'm so glad I didn't. I went out there and I golfed. Didn't matter that I golfed well or not. By the way, I did not golf well, but I did have fun. But that leaf haunted me for the rest of the round and the rest of the day, and I kept thinking that, time is all we have. Summer is half over. I'm in midlife. My life is half over. And I'm like, I'm not going to waste it by not being honest with myself and by not living in my truth. And so that's what I want to chat about today. And summer of 2021, I know 2020 has taught us a lot of lessons. 2021 already has taught us a lot of lessons. Summer of 2021, I think is going to just teach us more lessons. And here's what I want to talk about. How ignoring our truth will actually cost us precious time in our life. And time is really all we have to enjoy when it gets down to it, right? So what are we learning from summer 2021? Well, in the headlines, most recently have been big surprising topics with our elite world athletes, okay? From the German gymnasts who refused to show their legs. They just wanted to get out there, and their truth was they felt uncomfortable in wearing the traditional gymnastics uniform that shows their leg and part of their butt cheek, and they just didn't want to do that. And so they chose unitards that covered all the way down to their ankles, and they definitely stirred the pot quite a bit. But it turns out they didn't really break any laws. Let's move on to the Norwegian beach handball team. I think we call it beach volleyball. they actually refused to show half of their cheeks in favor of wearing full coverage shorts, and that actually got them a fine, which cracked me up that there was actually a fine about that. In fact, did you know there was actually a rule, and I think they're working on changing it at this point based on this whole thing that happened, that could have their bikini bottoms could be no wider than 10 centimeters. I mean, I don't know what 10 centimeters is, but for most of us, that's half of our butt cheeks showing. Like, that's just crazy. So, but they actually refused to do that. And I think it's really cool that so many celebrities, female celebrities, spoke out. Pink spoke out and offered to pay their fine. Billie Jean King spoke out on Twitter in favor of their decision. Anyways, they spoke their truth and demonstrated it. And of course, the next one is really, I think, painful and hard for, I think, a lot of us to understand. And that is Simone Biles. You know, she refused to jeopardize her safety and stood in her truth. And in a remarkable way, she stood up to the authorities and to the world and said, I'm not going to help my country or myself defend our gold medal because it will jeopardize my health. And how brave was that for this woman? I mean, the spotlight has been on her for probably since the last Olympics. But, you know, most recently she's been featured on 60 Minutes. She's been in the news. Every time you turn around, it's, you know, she's America's sweetheart. She was the world's sweetheart. I think generally the gold medal holder in gymnastics is typically always the world sweetheart, right? And so there was a lot of weight on her shoulders. But her truth was that if she went out there and did what she was supposed to do physically in the headspace that she was in, she knew that she ran a very big risk of getting hurt. And she could have been hurt seriously. There actually have been gymnasts who have been paralyzed from doing such things when they were not ready to do it. And so I just want to applaud these elite athletes of 2021 for teaching us that we have to live in our truth. We have to be honest with ourselves and put ourselves first. Because when we are dishonest and we're doing things against our truth or against our own best interest, something can feel off. And the consequences are not only just a waste of time in our life, but they can, you know, significantly contribute to our stress and our anxiety and our loss of sleep, which are just going to send us down even more of a negative path, you know, in our life. And so I just want to ask you, this is short and sweet. Is there something in your life, a truth in your life that you are ignoring and that you're not getting honest about? Now, how is that affecting you? What do you think about that? So I know even for myself, and I've been working on getting honest with myself, but there are still things that are I'm not quite there yet. You know, and I would say that a lot of us probably have something where we're not quite there yet. And it's probably robbing us of sleep. And it's probably causing us some stress and anxiety and even causing us to hold on to some cortisol. So my question is, why are we not getting honest about this? Why are we not living in our truth? I think these world-class athletes have really taught us a lot about ourselves and what we can do to improve our own life. And so that's what I'm going to leave you with today is, what is your truth? And can you get honest about it and actually improve how you're spending your time? Because time is really all we have. So that's it. I want to thank you very much for tuning in today. And as always, check back every Tuesday here on the Air Hug Community Podcast. Now, do me one favor, will ya? How about you take a screenshot of this and share it on your social media? Because I will bet that even if one of your friends sees this and gets honest with his or herself, that they will have gotten back something in their life that they were going to miss out on. All right. Ta-ta, and we will see you next Tuesday. Hey, one more thing. I just want to pop in and share my Manifesting Motivation Masterclass with you. It's completely complimentary, my gift to you, but grab this and take a listen to it because it can actually really help you to get honest with yourself and figure out how to live in your truth. So you'll find the information on it in the show notes. And again, thank you so much for listening here on the Air Hug Community Podcast. It means a lot to me that you hop in and lend me your ears.